Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Man Alone solo role-playing YouTube channel. This is Maurice up in the corner right here. Hello, Maurice. No, thank you. Glad to have you here. Today we are going to we're gonna go on the longest TLDR you've ever seen. In fact, this is the embodiment of Too Luscious did read the Stygian Library, or as the French call it, Le Bibliothèque Stygienne. And we're going to use Cairn, 2nd edition, which I should add, this is probably going to be very similar to if I used 1st edition. Most of the updates to 2nd edition have to do with like wilderness generation, dungeon generation, having more character backgrounds, a lot of things like that, a lot more examples in there. I think there'll be a couple of differences. I could be wrong, but I think bonds and omens was not on the in the mix the first time around. But we have scars. There's a more expanded bestiary, but we really won't be using that because the Stygian Library has its own. So it'll probably have some more gear and stuff like that, but that might not matter because Stygian Library has its own. But we have some tools that we're going to use. We have some digital tools, which I will show you in a second. And then if appropriate, I just have on hand some tables for one. One-page solo engine. This could be good. Wow. Who knows? Maybe we'll need it. And then this is my supplement that I'm working on for Cairn 2nd edition called Flint. I definitely need to work on like spacing of it because the only way I was able to fit it and everything was to shrink it down this much. But yeah, this just has like different... like I made an enemy attack matrix that I definitely have to work on. Different oracles, spark tables for cities, dungeon, wilderness. I added some, like I listed out more specific ideas for faction player advancement because one of the things about Cairn is that it's a diegetic advancement system. It's plot based, and there is this thing where if you get exactly 0 hit protection, you get a scar, which could increase your capabilities or bring something out of you or teach you a lesson. That is one thing that could be different in 2nd edition, is that there's a system for, what was it, like training, strengthening ties between characters. So one of the things we'll have to figure out here is whether we're going to go it alone or if we're going to generate a party. But first of all, a couple of things. Oh yeah, for music, we are going to thank you to CryoCrypt for giving the go ahead on listening to their tunes. They're a label of Dungeonsynth that I think will, I mean, some of their albums are so, like, they feel like they were designed for solo play inspiration. This here, I think it's appropriate to start with the Tribal Alliance, which is a collab between Mountain Realm and Tales Under the Oak, who is the Dolmen Wood. If you heard of that, that's Tales Under the Oak. And so thank you for that tunage. I also wanted to say thank you to Tower House Creative, the maker of the Fate Mill. As you all well know, if you've been following the channel, Fate Mill is part of the regular rotation for my solo dice tools, as is the Dyadic D20, old school D20 dice that sort of many dice in one, and then also the Null dice, which are excellent at summoning quick NPC like motivation or what they want, and it comes with like a little booklet. And we are especially grateful to them this month because this month, all of April, is going to be the Pregeneration celebration. Pregeneration celebration is a celebration of just using some damn pre-generated characters to get playing. Now, I'm not saying that character creation is a bad thing. Quite the opposite. I think if you've solo played or played at all, character creation is great. It's fun. You get to imagine the possibilities of your character. You get to learn about the game system a lot through character creation. However, there are some among us, you know who you are, that we have a hard time getting beyond session 0. We kind of like go all out in session 0. We get very excited, and then we just find that we can't move beyond it. We never get to session 1. And so I want people to take that enthusiasm that they have for the session 0, grab a pre-generated character, and get going, okay? And specifically to celebrate this, 2 things. Number 1 is that all this month, to help us celebrate, Tower House Creative has activated the promo code MANALONE20, link below, and this will get you 20% off any products while supplies last. The Fate Mill, Null Dice, Dyadic D20, Bell Whispers, Adventure Seeds, all excellent products from Tower House. Looking forward to some possibly new products soon. Woo! And there is going to be a little contest, a little competition, and this competition, it's open to all. Between now and the last day of April, I'm looking to build a little digital sachet of solo pre-gen characters. Not even solo, just pre-generated characters. And to do that, I need your help. So if you saw the email address, PreGenerationNation@proton.me, please, we are now accepting your pre-generated characters. And they can be for any game you like. But specifically, here's some ideas. Of games that could be good. And you just send a PDF or a scan, as long as it's legible and printable, of any character sheet. It has to be a real character that you create. You could roll it up, or you can, stat it out yourself, but it has to be a character that can either be used in level 1 through 3 or 4 through 6 in a game. So they can't have like a strength of 10,000 or something like that. And then make it special is all I can say. So the best way to do this is to create a profile or a picture. We've already gotten some that are beautiful, but we've also gotten some that are butt-ass ugly. And that's great, because I really want to encourage those of you who stink at drawing and you go, well, I'm just going to use like AI for my stuff because I suck at drawing. Okay, so that doesn't mean you're a bad person, all right? But no AI for this competition, because I want you to just try. And so if you make a beautiful picture, then great. You'll get some bonus voting points for that. But if you make a crap picture, but the judges and I can see that you tried hard, you put effort into it, and you have a creative idea about the character or whatever, then you will also be rewarded for that. Okay? So it's not just going to be like on whoever draws the best. I mean, that will get some points, right? Because look, game recognized game. If you're talented, you're talented. But also, we need to help those that draw beautiful pictures in their head, but then with their hand they draw like, turds. And so it's the effort that is really important. And then, yeah, you could decorate it, you could do whatever, create a backstory, you can create a new type, but it should be something that at the end of the month, I'm going to put all of these that are submitted into a folder so that anybody can access them and use them to just boot up play. Because for me, yeah, I love character creation, but at the same time, sometimes I get the itch and I just got to go. And then it's like, oh man, I got to create a character. For some games, I got to build a world map and everything like that. Sometimes I just want to pedal to the metal, or as the French say, pedal to the metal. Okay. I apologize, France. Okay. But really, 0.1% of you watching from France. Salut. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to do here. Where to begin? All right. So Stygian Library is Emmy Cave Girl Allen's creation from Soul Muppet Publishing, and it is a very unique emergent play dungeon that involves a sort of infinite library. Yep, Emmy Allen. And I know there's a more recent printing of this. This one's from 2020, and it's basically this library that has every book, and it has an access through it. You can get to every library that ever has existed, does exist, and ever could exist. And the reason for this is because the Stygian Library is a great sort of like flash sideways, as they called it in Lost, in a campaign. Say your players want to do something a little bit different, have them find a door, go into the library, and basically there can be a map to this game. You can play with a map, but also you're going to just play at different levels of the library, and you're going to have a progress bar towards a goal as well as a level, and where those are in relation to each other will determine events and progression and stuff like that. So to help us with this, we're going to use Cairn 2nd edition, and I did print out just some like character sheet, character sheet. These are from the Cairn website, but also like some reference stuff and NPC names here. This is like spark tables from is it Barrow Delver? And some like reference guide stuff, inventory, casting spells, how damage works, combat, saves, enemy encounter reactions. And then back here, I don't know if you've ever seen this. This is very interesting. So this right here is, if you can sort of take a look at the whole thing, this is what procrastination looks like. This is what I'm trying not to do. And yet I must be honest. I was like, you know what I need before I make this video? A massive grid that has multiple different marker colors. But, sometimes procrastination yields fruit that is not so acrid. Down here we have all the locations, which you roll a d20 and add the depth, however far down you are, and that will bring up what it is. So if, we roll an 8 and we're at depth of 1, or you add the depth to where you're going. So if you're at the first floor down, you go to 2, then you roll an 8, you do 8 plus 2, you'll be on 10 Auditorium. So you'll fill out that it's an auditorium. You can get some details here, what's happening there. This here is the Cairn dungeon exploration cycle. I could fit that in as well. That's going to be kind of the thing here that I don't really know how it'll play out yet, is like, when do I use which tool? And of course the answer is whatever works and whatever feels good. So we will bring in whatever else we need whenever else we need it. But I think that other than that, we're probably GTG. I'm just trying to see if I have anything else here that... This is a Cairn... right. This is using like the Mouse Ritter inventory system, which I really like. I bought a paper perforator. It's one of the most fun purchases I ever had, because I also got Cairn, and I'm not going to be able to use it on this playthrough because Stygian Library probably has its own stuff, but for $5 on itch.io, I got this, like, if you ever played Mouse Ritter, which I made a video on, I got to upload that. This is how the inventory system is, like however much actual spaces are there, and if you have a horse that can hold this many things, and so perforate this. I think I perforated one of these sheets. I can't stop perforating. I perforated my mother. It's terrible to say it, but it's true. I couldn't be stopped. She's fine. It's just that she, you know, in her words, I don't appreciate being perforated. I raised you. You know, I held you when you were small, and now all you do is you perforate me. Okay, let's see. That was the original line of Jerry Maguire too. And he said, "You complete me." Originally, it was "You perforate me." Okay, well, I guess I perforated it out of existence, but oh no, I didn't. It's right here the whole time. Was anyone going to tell me? So yeah, so this is like if you this is one where you can like add your own items and stuff. But yeah, you'd put it here, and then this is the Cairn sheet made for mouse shredder made for Cairn, and then you would put the inventory there, and as you got fatigue, that fills up the inventory. I really love that system. But probably not this time. That's a bit much. But what I do want to think about, and I want to think about it as a team, so you can think about it with me, is whether we want to have solo, dolo, delving Brolos, Brolo, or Brolos. And so what I mean by that is, should I go it alone, or should I use this tool here, which is the by Symbolic City made this. It's in its simplest explanation, it is a like a party group-based sheet for Cairn. There's also one for, I think, OSE or just a general OSR game, but it also has these like mastermind rules where you pick out or you can roll these like different qualities for things that pull the quest forward or block it. And whenever something comes up, say that I have one of my characters has bashful, whenever bashfulness would hold you back, you got to kind of like roll on that to see if that person comes along. So I don't want to, you know, it's always a balance between like, I want us to have lots of tools, but I don't want us to get like overdo it. Apologies. Fire an ultra staple here. Okay. Should I go it alone? No. But I should trust myself. So we'll use the sheet here. I'll stat it out. And of course, it is pre-gen celebration month, okay? And so what kind of man really would I be if I didn't do some pre-gens? So this is, I was just trying out the system. This is from Kettlewright, which is an amazing online Cairn app. And we'll do the mastermind and 3 characters. So let's get a new character here. Now I think it'll be okay to use the backgrounds. I don't think those will conflict too much with Stygian Library, but if it does, we'll just adjust it. So we have Morden. We will roll all. Okay, so this is really oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Military smelter looks good. Yep, fine. Oof. Ooh, wow. Okay. Yeah, great. All right, so we'll save that character. So that's Saren. But why does Saren have no? Is Saren dead? What's up with that? Is Saren dead? Why is it? Well, we'll figure that out. I'll talk to. Believe me, I know the management at Kettlewright. Okay, so we have dead Saren. We have Mordant. Let's get another. I can't have another person. There we go. I keep thinking this is their name, and I'm like, what kind of name is Field Warden? Is his name Dibber? I love it. Okay. Save character. Please don't be dead. He's dead. Am I doing something wrong? Well, doesn't matter. I'm gonna just fill it out on this sheet probably. Unless it would be easier to use these. All right, let's get. There we go. Yarrow. You delve deep in the wood. I like it. Radical experiments turn your skin green. Wow. All right. Great. Looks good. All right. So now we have parties, and I made a party of Stygian Library. And so technically this would be like if we had a group of many of us. So I don't actually think maybe... Oh, okay. This would be like multiple players. I thought maybe I could put characters into like a troop together, but... And then I want to see like what does this look like if I export it here. Let's check. Let's just check. Let's just briefly check. Okay, so just a little update. I figured out that until you reduce their inventory down from 10 out of 10, it won't let you have HP. I guess that's just how it's working on here. And then I was able to put one of the weapons for Dibber into the party storage because I did figure out how to put them into the parties. But I need to review these characters and figure out which one is Jorma. Jorma's always my main character in every game I play. So we'll be right back. We'll be right. Guys, I don't know. This app is really, really good. I mean, this is a really nice sheet. You know, this is a kettle right. Get yourself an account here. It's really good. Okay, so what we did, printed all these out because they have a nice spread of all the information on them. Some interesting characters that we have here. But then I just filled out this sheet. We won't use this since like sorry, move this over. We won't use... Jeez. That's one problem. These things here are pretty cool, but I think we'll just go with what the characterization that we have on the sheet because we have plenty of characterization that will tell us like what is blocked or is going to help us based on who these individuals are, which they are strong characters, let's just say. So Mordant is an Aurifex, and I do have to look each of these up just to see what they look like because none of the names are very... Okay, yeah. You are an artisan of the arcane, a smith of subtle forces. In the crucible of your workshop, the laws that govern this world are warped to suit your needs, so that's Mordant. This king is short king, birthmarked skin, bald hair, your face is broken, your speech stuttering, you have antique clothing, you are cautious and lazy. Bonds, you carved a whistle from an oak lord's branch. Your act did not go unnoticed. You cannot seem to rid yourself of the whistle either. Omens, a night blooming flower once thought extinct, is sprouting up throughout the wood. Its scent is intoxicating, but also causes vivid nightmares. Notes, what went horribly wrong? You were exposed to a long-acting truth serum whose effects have yet to wear off. The disorder has its advantages. You cannot repeat lies you've heard either, so it's kind of like a truth tester. What alchemical marvel is the product of your latest ingenuity? Aquavita purifies any liquid, converting it to pure water. Drinking it cures 1d6 strength. Then we have Dibber, the field warden. And Dibber has a towering physique, even though his strength is 8, his dex is 4. Webbed skin and curly hair. Your face is chiseled. Your speech is cryptic. You have soiled clothing. You are humble and vain. So I guess that's like a humble braggart. This is very interesting. You crossed a creature of the wood, and it cursed you with a stone heart, which gives me 1 armor. With each passing month, the stone grows heavier by 1 slot. Until your debt is lifted, you cannot truly die. Omens are that swarming pests gnaw at the edges of dreams, and farmers speak of a loud buzzing sound emanating from deep within the wood. They also say that the sound is getting closer. And what got better of you? Crop thieves. Not all of them survive, but you were outnumbered. Start with plus D4 HP, and a cusped falchion. What tool saved your life? The Everbloom Band, a circlet adorned with flowers that never wilt. On taking crit damage, the flowers dissolve into dust, but you act as if your save succeeded. Strength loss still occurs. Now, in the description, it says, protectors of the harvest, defense against thieves and beasts, a position of great honor. This is the field warden. While it lasts, many guardians do not live out their natural lives. Roll a second time on the bonds table. And so I'm wondering if that already happened and it is included in this, or if I need to do that again, because this individual is, I think, quite weak comparatively. So I would want to roll again on the bonds table. There's some great bond write-ups here. Okay, you found a wounded beast in the forest. Okay, no. Okay, that's okay. I think since that's such a... we need to... At some point, we need to limit how much information we have. So Jorma, Yarrow became Jorma, is a greenwise, which means you delve deep into the wood, prying its secrets from between rough boughs and whispering leaves. To this verdant kingdom, you are no mere scholar, but its confidant as well. Traits: you have a lanky physique, oily skin, and bald hair. All my guys are old, oily, and bald. I love this, though. Your face is perfect. Your speech precise. You have elegant clothing. You are gregarious and greedy. Bonds: during your travels, you met a dying hunter who asked you to deliver a message to their loved one. Take a letter, which is a petty item, sealed with tree sap. It is addressed only to the Lord of Winter. Omens: local livestock have grown increasingly agitated and unmanageable as of late. An old shepherd said it is due to an unsettling howl that emanates from the wood each full moon. How has the wood failed you? Your radical experiments turned your skin green, and you now gain nourishment as a plant. You don't need rations, but a day without sufficient sun and water leaves you deprived. What keeps you safely in the wood? Amadou, a vermilion fungus that catches fire quite easily. 3 uses. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Jorma's gonna die pretty quick, because I chose this guy because I just love that he had a perfect oily skin and that his speech was perfect and precise. However, I'm now slightly worried about it because he needs sunlight and Amadou, which I do have 3 uses of that, but we'll have to figure out something for sunlight, or he'll just die. I mean, that's fine too. I'm not against that. And then we have Saren, who's a Kettlerite. What is a Kettlerite? I mean, I should know better, but... You are known by the smell of molten metal and the jingle of tin. You are no mere merchant, but an artisan of fire. So, a blacksmith. Okay. You have a statuesque figure, rosy skin, and filthy hair. Your face is sharp, your speech precise. You have rancid clothing, tolerant and deceitful. You are known by the smell of molten metal and the jingle... Oh, we already read that. An entertainer once visited your home, filling it with story and song. This is a bond. He left one day without a word, leaving behind only a miniature lute. Something rattles inside. Omens. A thick, unnatural fog has begun encroaching upon an ancient and holy grove. It is said to be the work of a great forest spirit, angered by nearby deforestation. And what is your trade? You were a military smelter. Before peace destroyed your livelihood, take a smelting hammer, D10 bulky, and a tin helm. Given time and adequate materials, you can repair armor. What never fails to get you out of trouble? Tinker's paste. Seals shut any fist-size opening. 3 uses. Okay, so we have a greenwise, a Kettlewright fighting the deforested spirit, a field warden who protects the harvest, and an Orifex, which is an artisan of the arcane. And I carved a flute from an oak lord's branch. Okay, I need to sit and think for a second. Please excuse. I'll be right back. So the question is, do I take everything we've rolled up here and say, oh, this will be a little bit of a challenge, given that the characters and everything are quite wilderness and nature based, as well as their backgrounds and stories. I mean, after all, Cairn, that sort of fits that more. Or do I take the specific characters I have and look at that as a specific sign that I should be playing the Gardens of Yin, which is the same thing as Stygian Library, except the story, the rooms are different, but like everything, even the rules about magic, how to run the adventure. Now, I've barely opened this other than to flip through it. You know, wait a minute. Vivisection Theater. Do they even have the same rooms, I'm wondering? Because I remember seeing... Oh, dissection theater. Right, vivisection is dissecting someone when they're alive. Okay, so yeah, these are going to be very, very similar. Now, on one hand, I could say, well, maybe the characters are in the Gardens of Yin and they're looking for the things they're looking for, and they get sent to the Stygian Library. We'll stick with the plan, and then if we see a way to link it with the outside, after all, like, everybody could be looking for information. It's just that we'll have to figure out something to do with Jorma's opposite of vampire-ness. Let's think on it. Okay. I think I figured out how this party came together. All right. Dibber is a field warden, which, as far as I could tell, is like a park ranger for farms. Crop thieves got the better of Dibber, and he chased after them. One of them being Mordant, an Orifex who was trying to get an ingredient for his next potion. Okay, that's why he was in this field that had some sort of crop. It wasn't even the main crop. He was, trying to find... how about trying to find Amadou, which Jorma has, and Jorma was also gathering some of that, because Jorma's a Greenwise, doesn't really think that, like, somebody could own crops like a farmer, and so was there because he needs the Amadou to survive. And him and Mordant went after it at the same time, got into a conflict which alerted Dibber, who then caught them and chased them all the way to the edge of the property, where suddenly they saw Saren running from a creeping fog, which an omen that Saren knows is that a thick, unnatural fog has been encroaching upon an ancient and holy grove. Perhaps this grove, or this, the farm was an ancient and holy grove unbeknownst to anybody, even Dibber. And it is said to be the work of a great forest spirit angered by nearby deforestation. So whatever this grove was, whatever this farm was, they deforested. And Saren was there to, I don't know, yell at them or something, sees this fog, runs from it, The fog begins encroaching on all sides. Finally, in the distance, they see an old abandoned building, and they say, well, let's go there. And Dibber, being field warden familiar with this area, says, well, that used to be an old library, but there's nothing there. Whatever this thing, and I should say this fog is menacing. It's not just a normal fog, right? It's undulating and has a sort of like never-ending story, lightning-streaked, carnivorous quality to it. And they go into this old abandoned library just on the edge of the property, and the fog crowds around them, and they just, out of desperation, open a door, and that is where they then find themselves on level, 0 of the library. Capiche? Is everyone capished for that? And I think we can begin there, but I also think that I lost a paperclip. Where'd it go? Okay, so when the players first enter the library, use the location table on page 20 to see where the doorway leads. Use the details table for the specifics of the place and the random events table for what's going on there. All right. So we'll keep... So I do have the location and the details here. And so what we can do is kind of keep this, at least, well, we'll keep this bookmarked to the random events table. I'm trying to give myself more space, and now I feel like I have less. All right, since we are headed to level 0, I think this is the only time that it's a pure roll. Otherwise, when we're headed the next level down, unless we start on level 1, this could be a pure D20 roll. But all that matters is whatever I roll here is going to be whatever I roll here is going to be a pure roll, but it's going to be the description for the next level down. So I'm guessing that this is the entrance foyer, because that is 1. And I guess if we're... Yeah, that actually makes sense, because then if we roll a 1, we'll never roll 1. If we roll it at plus level, we'll never roll a 1 again. So the entrance foyer, does that have its own, like, oh yeah, it's marked by a letter here. Okay, a small room lit with candles, furnished with mahogany and brass. Seating and a wait here sign, a desk facing towards the real world for the library staff. 50% chance the desk is currently manned by a Black Order librarian, page 114. The art is amazing. Well, maybe we don't even look at what that is yet until we know whether or not we're even going to encounter anything here. So I like doing the rolls directly, like based on what it says. So if it's 50% chance, then that means we roll a D100. And up to 50 is yes, over 50 is no. 42, so we do encounter a Black Order librarian. And it looks like a list of different types of librarians here. They maintain the portals. Can cast the following each once per turn: hold portal, knock, hold person, turn mortals, wall of iron. Okay. Hold. So there has to be a spell list somewhere in here. Useful table is 132 to 152. No. Well, I guess we just have to abstract that, but that's okay. Because what we should do is use the Cairn encounter reactions, which is rolling a d12. 2 is hostile, 3 to 5 is wary, 6 to 8 is curious, 9 to 11 is kind, 12 is helpful. And we'll see what kind of encounter this is anyways. 3. They're wary. Okay. So they see us just kind of portal in, and they say, whoa! And they probably have not seen anybody enter the portal for a very long time. So maybe they caught them asleep. And maybe like they do the thing like my brother used to do when we would collect money for our paper route. Like he would knock on the door and then people would come and say, "Can I help you?" And then he would just grab a tissue out of his pocket and start blowing his nose. And then I had to talk to the people every time. So they say, "Oh, excuse me," and blow. Well, that's a fart, but they blow their nose and look quite panicked, and they walk off. And I say, excuse me, where are we? What is this? What's going on here?" And they say, "Sorry, excuse me," and they go away. So what else happens here in the entrance foyer? On the desk, there's a bell to ring for attention. Roll encounter 25 for what turns up every time the players ring it. Okay. Six. So roll 20 plus depth. That's just gonna be a roll 20. 9. 2d6 paper bees. On page 122. All right, so, well, we could use the save 6. There we go. Guess so. 4. All right, so 8 paper bees show up. We ring the bell, bzz, 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 and it makes like a buzzing sound like that. Bzz, bzz. I'm like, what the hell? Bees the size of a human hand that inhabit the infrequently visited corners of the library. They feed on ink and grime rather than nectar and distill it into black honey. When paper bees are encountered, they probably got a hive not too far away. If the players decide to track where the bees go, then after going deeper D4 more times, they will find a paper beehive. So I'm trying to figure out, like, if I should probably roll this encounter to see if these bees are hostile or not. Maybe these bees are lovely bees and I'm just overreacting. Okay, so we'll roll the d12 again. $12. Helpful. Okay. And they say, I guess this is like a Lassie moment. We say, "What is it, boy?" Which among my players would most likely to be comfortable with bees? Orifex makes potions. Saren's a kettle, right? Jorma's a greenwise. And Jorma is was asked by a hunter to deliver a letter to the Lord of Winter. Twine bauble. Okay. And okay, all right. So I say as Jorma, I go, if there are bees, that means there must be flowers. And if there are flowers, there must be sun. We're saved. And he looks at the other three and then grabs them by the shoulders and then runs after the bees, and the bees start trailing away. And everyone's like, what? Who cares about... Did he not notice that we just went through a portal and just manifested in this old place? But Jorma runs after, and I think that follows the bees as if there is some sort of higher calling there, which there may be. But that's enough of the entrance foyer. Let's go deeper. So now we would roll d20. And by the way, don't pay attention to this. This doesn't apply to this. This means a 35. You have to roll d20 plus d12 plus 2. So we'll do d20 plus 1, because that's the level we're going to, and that will tell us what our next level is going to be. Wow, that's a very... Okay, so we're going to Phantom Databanks. Okay. So... going to Phantom Databanks seems like it might be too much of a leap. But, hey, that's what it said. Let's get some details here first. So, d20 plus depth for details. Okay. 5. You know what? If I'm going to roll on the thing here, I might as well get a different die. These show up really well. And then I could also use this, if I remember, to just sort of track the thing we're on. All right, so d20 plus depth for details, 17 plus 1 chained books. So inside there are chained. So that's not encounters, right? Yeah, that's just details, but it says page 36. Weird. I wonder if they maybe realigned the page numbers when they reprinted it, because I see a Furious book. This may... Chained Lectern? What does it say in this book? I'm looking at this this thing that was printed out. Why am I trusting that? So details. Chain books, page 68. Okay, that makes more sense. The books here are all chained to the shelves, perhaps to prevent theft or perhaps to prevent them escaping, depending on the nature of the books. Okay. The nature of the books is something we can look up. Roll a d100. $52. Bestiaries of mythical beasts. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, we'll keep that in mind, and let's see. Let's check the room. See, here's what I guess I'm unclear on is when you go to these different levels, these levels have names. Like Phantom Databanks is a room, and so am I rolling up like details and events, or and looking up the room, or am I just looking up the room and using details and events if I need to? Because there are lots of details and events already here. That's what I'm a little bit unclear on. Like, do you use that every time, or? Oh, let me read. All right, so it's both. We get the general layout from the book, and then we fill it in with details or events. And with something like this, with the paper bees, we will get further information if we need it, such as whether they're hostile or not. And so sometimes filling in the details might not be necessary if we have a lot of information. Let's check out Phantom Databanks. That's phantoms. Oh, I see. That's monsters. All right. The room contains a set of shelves against one wall. Each shelf holds a row of glass jars. Each jar has a set of wires emerging from it. This is like average solo role player's bedroom. Each jar has a set of wires emerging from it, linking to a small machine at the end of each shelf that displays the pressure, temperature, emotional state, and acidity of each jar's contents on a set of dials. There are 30 jars in total. 24 contain a phantom, the rest are currently empty. Each phantom appears as a condensed mist, thrashing wildly, flickering with colors and patterns glowing lightly. It's like a bonsai kitty. Opening a jar releases the contained phantom. It doesn't really want things or have a sense of self, but it is compressed unnaturally in the jar and will expand to its full size, about that of a human when released. A newly released phantom is agitated and energetic. Whilst it does not have enough awareness of its surroundings to attack, it will almost certainly cause problems. Alternatively, a phantom in a jar can be used as a dim source of light. Now, we'll switch to GM mode to see if any of my players think of that. Is Phantom Pumps a separate location? I don't want to go into it. Oh wait, there is Okay, yeah, I see. I think if I did notice, there is something that the book is pretty clear about. Like, usually it'll keep all the information that you need about something on one page, and if it goes into something else, it will move to the next page. A huge steam-powered machine is built into the wall of this room. See, this justifies exactly what I just said, because that's not, yeah, Phantom Pumps is a different room. All right, so my theory I have, wrong. All right, so they walk in, or they're following after Jorma, right? Was it Jorma that was running? Yeah, the Greenwise. And you know what could be interesting, or it could be the worst mistake of my life. Well, that's a bit of an overstatement. Is I wonder if they get there to this room and Jorma is nowhere to be found because the library took Jorma in a different direction. Is Jorma in this room that the other three go into? No. But Jorma is still alive, just not in the room. So why don't we see like what happens with these three here? So there are 30 jars in total. 24 contain a phantom. Let's look at my characters here and see if any of them are curious. Gregarious and greedy. So that's Jorma. Humble and vain. Cautious, lazy. Tolerant, deceitful. Okay. So let's see here. So Saren is a Kettlewright, and is probably very fascinated by this and is like, wow, look at these. What are they? Morden, who is very cautious, is like, I wouldn't touch those. I don't know much about glowing jars, but generally speaking, glowing jars who have something like sentient things in them, usually not good. And Dibber, the field warden, is just sort of like in awe looking at each of them. And let's see, do these characters open the jars? Yes. Okay. Why do they open the jars? And for this, we can probably use the Man Alone Flint solo tool here. Let's find a spark table. General. Yeah, this should work. Nature, wilderness, probably not. Dungeons. Maybe. Overland threats. Nah. Usually this paper's really nice, but it's Oracles of Magnitude. So maybe we could do a quick Oracles of Magnitude here to see. Let's put a pin in that. Let's do the first. We'll do the spark table to see why. So first, let's see who is it that opens it, and we'll give. It's not. It might be Dibber. It's likely to be Morden, Saren. It's not Morden. So we'll say 1 to 2, it's Dibber. 3 to 6, it's Saren. All right, so Saren wants to open it up, too curious, and the reason is D20. 17, return, 10, dormant, 15, runes, return dormant runes. Okay. So let's say that one of the jars seems to be conveying some sort of runic symbols, and this is reawakening a thought that Saren has. Oh, you know what? Well, it's not going to make anything now, but I forgot that Morden is, even though cautious, is an Aurifex, meaning like potions and stuff, so probably would be interested in it, but that's okay. So Saren sees these and is like, what is that? I've seen those before. And opens it up, and out comes this phantom. And this phantom, like they said, it's sort of psychologically inert would be the way to describe these. And I know that there's a little more on it. Phantoms are the spiritual remainders of a dead mortal, stripped down to their most basic form. Personality and thought eroded, phantoms are little more than spiritual automata, laden with the collective data of some mortal's lifetime. Suffice to say, such beings are ripe for exploitation by a skilled. Okay, I just had a spark of my own here. This is the kind of deviousness you need for solo play. I think the phantom that emerges is Jorma. I think that those runes, those runic symbols, were some sort of archaic, primitive means of communicating the impressions that Jorma put in just a brief moment of running together. Like all of us. Do you have words that have shapes or locations in your head? Like they make no sense, or memories, or something that whenever you think of it, you think of the same I have a lot of like intersections that I'll think of in the city that are just associated with things for me. I have no idea why, but I feel like some words, some ideas have gestalt meaning to them. And so this runes, even though they're just like shapes, Siren's like, I recognize that, and it's actually seeing Jorma, and the jar opens, drops it on the floor, and it takes the shape of Jorma, and they're all like, and Morton's like, that's that guy. It's that guy that I was arguing with in the field. It's like, hey, look at me. What happened? Why are you like this? And Jorma, or what's left of Jorma, looks up, and there's not even a twinkle of recognition, and just looks and then walks into the stacks. And it does have the shape of Jorma. They can see in the same way that no matter how many times they deny it about that 28 Days Later sequel, that they said that zombie is not supposed to be Cillian Murphy. It most certainly is. It has, the man is famous for those cheekbones. I gotta bring this up. They're trying to say, no, this isn't Cillian Murphy. I mean, please. They're saying it's some other actor. This is Cillian Murphy. I think we would know this. Like actors have a distinct feature. Well, apparently it's Angus Neal, for those who are interested. Unbelievable. So, yes, there. What is going on here? Oh, I see. So yes, there is something about this thing, but they can see it's almost, for certain, Jorma, but he's got long gray hair, old man. And they're like, wait a minute. Why is he an old man? He was I think the character actually said their age. I think it was, the Greenwise was 23. Well, I thought it was. Anyways, in my mind, they were 23 forever. So there's obviously some sort of time dilation thing going on here, but that was for sure the spirit, and looks like it was just trapped in this room. Now, what in the world does all of this mean? And more importantly, do any of my characters take one of the jars as a light source? Maybe. Alright, so I guess we'll do a wisdom check for, who's got a good, Saren. Saren's the one who was curious enough to open it. And so, yeah, we just have to do 10 or lower. 14, no. Okay, so does not take it, is very weirded out by that, and probably wants to just get out of there. And so before we go on, let's roll up an event here. Actually, we could use this. This has numbers on it. 9. The player characters become disoriented, -1 progress. Okay, so they don't even have any progress yet. Their progress is 0. And that's what we need to establish here, is they're running around like their heads are cut off, and then all of a sudden they say, stop. Okay. And Dibber says, we just need to stop for a second and figure out what the hell is going on. And Saren, or Morden, is like, what's going on? What's going on is that none of this would have happened if you would not have just let me take a small amount of fungus off of a plant. And he's like, and Dibber says, well, that wouldn't have happened if you would not have gone onto protected grove in order to retrieve that fungus. And Saren says, "Hey, excuse me, none of any of this would have happened unless a roiling, thunderous fog didn't start moving out of the forest and closing in on us." And this all gives them stops and gives them all pause, and they're all kind of like, I guess that's kind of right. So we got to figure out what to do here. Whatever that thing was in that jar. Warren says, "Yep, why'd you open that? Why would you open a jar? Leave the jar opening to me, okay? I'm like a professional jar opener." He says, "But I saw that guy." And then they both agree, like, "Yeah, I now that you say it, I think you're right, but what does that mean?" He says, "I don't know. And we went through the same door, didn't we?" It's like, "Yeah, we went in the same door as him, as far as we know. We just went there like 10 seconds after. But no bees. That guy is a vapor ghost. We need to get out of here." And they turn around to open the door. And as they open the door again, the one they came in, they see this is not at all the room this is not the room they came from. And so why don't we actually see what room that is? I know for disoriented, you're supposed to take away progress. And technically when characters flee, you're also supposed to do like a little bit of a D4 plus 1, I think. But since we just started, we'll just keep on track and roll up another location. And so because it's stay here, they're not going deeper. They're not going to a new room. This is just they're not going to another level. They're just going to another room. We'll say that we'll roll up not another location, but some more details in another event. So it's D20 plus 1. 19. Phosphorescent lamps in this room. We'll get something else. 9 gas lamps. So this is a very lampy room. And a treasure pile. But no, none of that is right. 19 plus 1 is right. Phosphorescent lamps. Then I rolled a 9. Glass tubes. And then I rolled a 2 plus 3 is notes. All right, so this other room has, because I didn't add the plus 1, except on the first one. So phosphorescent lamps. Okay. And then glass tubes. And notes. Okay. Let's see, who is... So this is very interesting, is that this is supposed to be a Cairn coded sheet here. But interestingly, and I think that's just a typo, wisdom was put instead of willpower. But I don't care, because Cairn is one of the games that just doesn't let you do perception checks or anything like that, which just does not work well for solo play. So I'm just using it as wisdom as well. Why not? Perception, who cares? We could, sometimes I'll average these things out, but we'll just say, what's the highest? 10. So roll under 10, if anybody. 5. Okay, so all of them are able to see these notes, and these notes are intriguing. Let's use tables for 1 here. I need to add some more, like a big D100 spark table, I think, to Flint. Like just something that is not even, because I do have the general table, that's good, but I need something that's just a big general oracle. That's what I think. And in fact, that used to be my nickname in college, Big General Oracle. So let's see if tables for 1 has anything. I'm also missing my, I don't know what I did with my oracle. All right, NPC generator, character traits, no. Oracles, no. Action, subject. We need something that's going to give us a bit more je ne sais quoi. Like, I need some intriguing inputs here. Let's see. This is faction names, adjectives. Okay. Nah, monster categories. All right. Let's look at one-page solo engine. Oracle. Action focus, detail focus, topic focus. All right, so this is 3 cards. Doesn't look like it's... Oh, suit domains. Remember to apply the suit domain. I think I just stapled this in any order. And apologize for this. This is my colorblind printer here. Okay, so clubs is physical. Well, let me roll a suit here first. Okay, so we have spades, which is mystical. Good, good. And then the first thing is going to be a 9 of spades. Command. Okay. Hearts. 4 of hearts. Hearts is social. Old. Command old. Diamonds 8. Command old knowledge. And diamonds is technical. Alright, so technical, knowledge, social, old. Command old knowledge. I mean, that's... I think I don't even need to make that too mysterious here. Command old knowledge. So, we'll say that one of the sheets, they walk up to it, and maybe the sheets all have the same thing on it. And the sheets say, and because this is the only, like, phoneme generator I have nearby. Do I have Rune Cairn? I need Rune Cairn. Rune Cairn, where are you? There's a table in here that's just like mouth sounds. That's what I need. Well, I think that was actually insulting. They're not mouth sounds. They're whatever language this is. There we go. Old Norse runes. So they say Bjarken. So we have like this B. Sorry. Once again, I've excluded you from the fun by... There we go. So they have Bjarken. I don't even know how to say that, but there is actually, I think, a letter guide if I really want to go far with this. Bjarkenmur. Bjarkenmur. And this is good because actually these all have meanings, so maybe I'll be able to see what I'm doing here. Bjarkenmurar. And that means birch, human, plenty. Birch. Bjarkenmurar. So, because, let me walk you through this now. You're probably wondering why I'm shouting Nordic spells. Well, it all started. All right, so command, old, knowledge, reads this, and suddenly, like, something happened. And I was thinking immediately that a door shut, but it might be good if we can figure out like something that could conform to. It was 12 out of plenty. So Bjark and Birch, human, plenty. Birch is a tree. Maybe Simon Birch, the movie. Okay. Actually, I think if I'm not totally... Oh, there it is. Losing my goobers here. I do think that there was something that was almost like... Yeah, maybe human birch plenty is this origami golem, because it's like a human made out of plenty of birch tree paper. And so maybe immediately when I say that, the pages conform into this golem. They fly out of the books, off the shelves and everything, and just like take the shape of a golem. A construct made of scrap paper glued into a rough humanoid form, folding at the joints, flat, angular, ragged, and misshapen. It shambles and limps on asymmetric limbs. The golem is built to serve the librarians when they need actual muscle, either in manual labor of maintaining the library or to deal with intruders. It obeys silently, it lacks an identity of its own. It's a temporary thing that serves for a time before taken apart for materials. Wow, it's strong. So they see this, and this golem starts materializing, and it becomes pretty clear that this was like summoned. So he says it, let's try to do... So they're all panicking, right? Because this paper is coming together as a golem. And let's see. Saren is going, "What did you do? What did you do?" I didn't do anything. I just read the whatever it said. He's like, "Well, what did it say? Say it again." He says, "I can't. I dropped the note. It flew. It was part of the golem." And he says, "What do you mean?" He says, "The paper, it flew out of my hand and it just congealed with him." He said, "Well, say what it said." He's like trying to remember. And so who was it? Oh, it was Saren. So Dibber is yelling that. Do it again. And so Saren has to do a wisdom check. Let me just check if there's anything. Tinker's Paste. That could be interesting. All right, we have some options here in case, but let's see. Is Saren able to remember what it said? I think it's Bjarken Murar. 17. No. Okay, so that means that we probably need to roll dex against this thing. That is... Let's just say I'm glad that I am very glad that I took a crew with me, because this thing is 28 HP. Now, I'm going to look up the converter here. And see if we can find origami golem. Oh no. It only goes up to C? What happened? Who stops at C? I was tricked. I mean, come on, can you really blame me? They stopped. Ugh. They stopped at C. Wow, that sucks. Well, I mean, it's cool that they did it, but it's kind of a bummer, right? All right, well, let's just compare here. So this animated book, if an animated book hit dice 3, HP 12. Okay. HD 8. Huh. Let me see if I can convert this really quick. TBC. And yes, I know I keep pausing the music because I enjoy it so much, and I only have 37 songs, so, you know. Well. The original 1E to the rescue. Probably in 2E too, but converting from OSR. Give 1 HP per hit dice. Most humanoids have at least 4. Morale can also be used as a baseline. Is it good at avoiding a hit? Give it HP. Does it soak up damage? Give it armor. Is it strong? Give it a high strength. Yeah, well, this is pretty... Armed attacks do at least 1d6 damage. 1 HP per hit dice. Alright, so we'll say that this... origami golem. Hit dice 8. So HP 8. And it's pretty... what are its attacks? Okay. 2 slams. Alright, plus 8d6. Yikes. Is that a plus 8 like, you know what? It doesn't... this doesn't have to be a perfect conversion here. Why don't we look up a monster in the bestiary that seems similar. This is a benefit now of having a nice big bestiary. Creeping vines, bone construct. Invisible stalker. Mummy. That's kind of like, right? Root goblin. Shambling mound. Warrior snail. Wood troll, too big. Wyvern, zombie. Alright, so let's see of... So this thing slams and is strong. We'll have to adjust. I mean, obviously, we would adjust the killer bees. All right, invisible stalker. Yeah, I think this is good. 8 HP, 12 strength. Dex, 15 will. Fists are d4 plus d4. Attacks deals direct strength damage. No, that's okay. We won't start with that. Although I was going to say, if it was a little further in the game, what I would do is I'd make one of the d4s direct strength damage. Okay. So let me zoom out. Okay, let's try this out. I've really wanted to see how many games I can incorporate the Troika initiative system. We'll combine it with Cairn. So again, this means the next combat round. And then for each of my characters, each of them gets like a card, and the enemy will get cards. Probably a regular enemy gets 2. Like a goon will get 1, and an elite will get like, 3. And so I'm just looking here to see if any of the symbols of any of these cards like match the character or any of my characters or the enemy. So right now for the enemy, I'm looking for like books or paper. I don't see anything, so we could use one of these generic. This one is good for the enemy. And then for each of my characters, we can... Dibber is a field warden. Looks like a bucket to me. Mordant is an Orifex. Saren's a kettle, right? That looks like a kettle, right? Actually, that looks like a kettle, right? And an Orifex, to me... I just try to find things that like very naturally my mind associates with it, so I don't even have to like really remember. I don't know why, but this is telling me Orifex, so. Okay, so now what we do, first of all, to even see who is fighting this round, we'll do the Cairn rules, which will do a dex check for everybody to see if they're even participating in the first round. And so, and if so, their card will go in the mix. And I'll tell you what, just to kind of even the playing field, I'll even do a dex check for Origami Golem, and if he passes, I'll give 2, if not, just 1. So we'll do that first. 12, 13, so it gets 1. And of course, we have next turn go in there. And then we have, for crit, I'll give them 2. How does that sound? That sounds good. All right, 11 for Dibber, not going to pass. Oh, dex of 4. Yucky. So the Field Warden is not going to go this first round. Mordant is a 4. Yes, definitely has a 14 dex. And Saren 15, 7. So everybody else will go. And now we take these cards and we shuffle. And I guess because it's the first round, everybody must go. But usually, and this is the trick with the Troika, is if you are playing Troika and I get that the Mordant goes, and then this Origami Golem goes, and then next turn, and you're like, oh, we didn't get to this guy. Doesn't fight that turn. So the combat is more chaotic, and I kind of like that. It's less reliable, especially in games when there's not too many options. You know what I mean? Like, there's not too many options in this game of what we're gonna do. It's not like we're playing, 5e where I can grapple, and I can call my mother, and I can what was that one thing they added where you can like let Randy Quaid inhabit your consciousness? You can't do that in this game. And so what we do instead is we shuff. Okay, so first up is going to be Mordant, and Mordant has a needle knife. Now, remember, and remember well, that there's no roll to hit here. I just roll my my hit, and it takes off the hit protection, which is 8. So 2. Just making sure there's no like adjustments to that. Okay. So yeah, that will take off 2 from Origami Golem. Armor though. No armor. It's paper. Now we have Origami Golem. Oh. This could be good as well. You know what I'm going to do? I will also use this to see who is targeted. So we'll do the same cards. So Origami Golem. I like how I'm saying it as if it's their name. Origami Golem. How can we direct your call? Origami Golem is going to throw a punch at Dibber, who has 2 armor. So the first D4 is a 3, so hits for a 1. And because it's 2 D4s and not a D8, we get to apply that armor again. 2, so only takes off 1, which is a real nice stroke of luck off hit protection of the Dib Man. All right. And then I guess the last one here is Saren Kierkegaard. And Saren has a smelting hammer and a hammer. That can't be right. A smelting hammer and a hammer? Look at it later. We'll talk about this later. Ooh. I want your parents to say that. We'll talk about this when we get home. Shudder. All right, 3. So 3 is going down there. So they'll do 6, 3. And now we go to the next round, and now we will add the next round shifter. And remember, OrigamiGolem.com has to why these look a little bit different. I wish they didn't, but I like this so much that I bought like the add-on set, and it looks like some of them are a little bit different color. All right. I knew it. All right. So when that happens, we'll just put it at the bottom and let everybody go. All right. So OG. Wait a minute. This is going to be against... I gotta look away because one of these cards... Oh. Against Saren Kierkegaard again, who has 2 armor. 1 armor for Saren. So this is a big wallop of 3. And then again... 2. So 3 and 2 is 5. So that puts down to 1. I wish it would have been a little more. Then we could have taken a scar there, but prices as they are. Okay. Oh no. All right. Never fear. This is going to be against Mordant. No armor. 3. Well, that actually takes Mordant down to 0. I don't even have to roll this next one because I wanted to look up what repellent was to see maybe if I could use repellent. I doubt it. Although with the bees, that would have been probably a good idea. So we'll roll a scar. Marketplace. Wolfsbane, Mugwort. Okay, no, that's not going to do it. Okay, so right now, regardless of what happens next, Morden gets a scar. And also, I need to... I think this is a morale roll, if I remember correctly. So maybe, just because it's fun, we can roll up a scar. $66. How much HP did we lose? We lost 5, right? No, 3. Walloped. You are sent flying and land flat on your face, winded. You are deprived until you rest for a few hours, then roll 1d6, add that amount to your max HP. So suffice to say that we don't even have to roll the next roll because Morden is just flat on his face, out, deprived, and it's really quite sad. You know what happened to Morden. Okay, let's do. All right, a little bit weird. I always get hung up on this. So if an attacker is attacking with 2 weapons in Cairn, you roll both weapons and then take the higher result. So technically, D4 plus D4 could mean that, or it could mean that it's D4 plus D4 damage. I think in the case of the template that we used, right, which was like it's from the Stalker, which is not, you know, what we're fighting, but it's the template. We did there's an easier way to do this, I just know it. What the hell was it called? Stalking something, right? Sky Giant. Invisible Stalker. Fists. Okay, so it is like kind of a dual wield, I guess. So we'll just say that 3 was the higher result there, so we don't have to go back in time. And then technically, I guess that now I could just kind of make the decision that Mordant is out of combat, but it says damage that reduces a target's HP below 0 is subtracted from their strength by the amount of damage remaining. So mine got taken to 0. The target must then immediately make a strength save to avoid taking crit damage using their new strength score. On a success, so I guess that doesn't apply, right? If dude gets hit again, if the damage to a PC would reduce their HP to exactly 0, look up the result on the table below and based on the amount of HP lost. For example, if PC went from 3 to 0, that's us, that would be walloped. You lay flat on your face, winded. You are deprived until you rest for a few hours, then roll 1d6. Okay, so I am deprived, but deprived, I forgot, does not mean fatigued. If I'm deprived for more than a day, then I'm fatigued. But I think right now, technically, Mordant is still in the fight. We'll just say if next round, you know, out for the rest of the round. And so this one here is, of course, Morden, so skip that turn. And then we have Saren, the Kettlewright. Everything in my mind's eye here is in a pretty enclosed space. So Saren, again, is going to use a smelting hammer, which I must say, and I don't want to slow things down again, but it is a bulky, and so I did take up 2 slots with it. But I'm also wondering, I believe that takes up 2 slots and they cannot wield like a shield at the same time, but if there's any other effects of it, I don't know. And right now I don't care because I'm getting my ass kicked. So we'll do a nice smelting hammer swing. 9. Okay. So that's good. So that's going to take the HP down to 0, and then it's also going to take the strength down to 6. And now, because the rest of the damage goes to strength, and I think this stupid piece of printer jam is also now going to need to make a morale check or a strength save. I don't know which one, because I forget things all the time. Enemies must pass a will save to avoid fleeing when they take their first casualty, and again when they lose half their... No, that doesn't. Some groups may use their leader's will. Morale does not affect PCs. Okay. Save 2 opponents, 2 characters. Okay, damage that reduces a target's HP below 0 is subtracted from their strength. We did that. The target then must immediately make a strength save to avoid taking crit damage. So we'll do that. So D20, roll under 6. 18, failed. On a success, the target's still in the fight and must continue to make crit damage saves. Any PC that suffers crit damage cannot do anything but crawl weakly. NPCs and monsters that fail a crit damage save are considered dead, per the Warden's discretion. Warden? Dead. Additionally, some enemies have special abilities or effects that are triggered when their target fails a crit save. No. Okay. So, when... I hate to be this kind of player, but do I get anything? Like, I mean, like... spoils of victory, you know? If like I beat somebody up, do I get their... do I get some treats? I want some treats, man. How you gonna say that I beat an enemy and I don't and they don't turn into 2 pieces of gold and a potion? What kind of universe is this? I thought this game was realistic. Dang. Maybe next time. Okay. So, I think that worked pretty well. I just like, for some of you that might be like, no way, I'm not going to do combat like that. But for me, I don't mind that. I don't mind having like, everything that happens to me in gameplay is just like, not really thinking that far in advance. And so I don't mind having that unpredictability. Now, they help Morden up onto his feet. And I do see here that, you know, he's pretty tired. And we need to rest. And once we rest, we'll get that much added to the HP. And probably eat a ration. And so now that this room has been cleared of all HP desk jet type enemies, why don't we do some downtime here between. Oh, that's between sessions. Or while a character's in recovery. So I guess I have to recover. Come on, I don't get to do anything. Okay. Healing and recovery. Resting for a few moments and having a drink of water restores lost HP but may leave the party exposed. Bandages can stabilize a character that's taking crit. Yeah, so we're just going to rest for a few moments and maybe have a little bit of a conversation given... I would say that this is safe condition now. No, armor still 0. Simply because we cleared the room and they're like, just take it easy for a minute, okay? Just relax, just sit down. And they put like a pile of books down and Morden sits and they're like, what the hell was that thing? Says Dibber. Cern says, I think it was like a bunch of sheets of paper that became a humanoid. And Dibber's like, yes, I was able to see that. I'm saying, what the hell animated it? Like, what is going on here? And what, just saying those words did that? Morden, who's coming to, is like, it's a spell. It's a spell. Don't say it again. It's a summon or something. So what do you mean a summon? And Morden says, I heard about this once. It's like deep alchemy, or honestly, when people said it, even I thought it was ridiculous. Like, I spend all day in a lab combining potions just to get any effect. And some people say that there's like a certain words, ancient words you could say that do the same thing as my potions. I thought it was ridiculous. And Saren says, it was ridiculous. Yeah, it was. It was. And so we will recover that HP, but then also get a 1d6 every damn time. I don't think I've ever rolled anything but a 1. So max HP goes up to 4. They rest for a little while. And they say, I would say Dibber is sort of in thought and says, we need to go deeper into the library. And they're like, no. Saren says, Morden says, no, we need to leave the library. We need to get out of here. And Dibber says, we can't. We go back the way we came from, we get even more lost. Maybe if we just follow this path, maybe, I don't know, maybe at the very least, we can get less tangled around. We can still follow in a straight line. If I go back through a door I came from and I go into some other room, I don't know what's up and what's down. At least this way, we go forward, we don't look back. I don't know, at least I could tell myself that I'm moving in a straight line. And so, realizing they don't really have a lot of options, they go deeper into the next room. And so now they're going to level 2. And so it's D20 plus 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. Skeleton collection. Oh, right. Plus 2. Skeleton collection. Alright, let's see what this is. This song is so good. This album is so good. Grey Shadow Ruins Fog by Mountain Realm. Oh, Grey Shadow Ruins the album. Okay, let's see here. I'm just looking right here. It says searching. A character can spend a turn performing an exhaustive search of one object or location in an area, revealing any hidden treasure, trapdoors, secrets. Well, that costs time, but roll on the table below when the party spends more than one dungeon cycle in a single room. Yeah, I'll play that. I'll play this game. I'm going to do a search. And because I want a treat. And let's see. We look around the room before we head out. We use up a turn. D30. That old famous roll. I wonder if Kettlewright has a search function. No, it does not have a D30. Does it have a D60? What is this? Yeah, I think this is a D60. Yeah, we'll do D60 divided by 2. 26. So we search. Mouse-sized doorway leading to a mouse-sized home. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. And that cost me a D6 dungeon event. Although, I don't think that's a full dungeon cycle. It's a full dungeon cycle that I'm going to check. Okay, I do think that... so first of all, a dungeon cycle, according to Cairn, is when everyone takes a turn. So if we have anything that is very, like, time sensitive, I guess, for lack of a better term, or, you know, it is important or relevant how long the party's spending in a room. If everybody takes their turn, that is a dungeon cycle. And so according to the warden, there could be a dungeon event every cycle. Since we've already had a lot of rigmarole in this phantom databanks, we're going to move on to the skeleton collection for now, but in the future I may roll one of these events. The reason I'm skipping it, just to give a little VH1 behind the music here, I don't want to roll on another encounter and then go into another room and then roll another encounter. That will be tedious for me. I don't like it, and I don't want. Okay, so we will go to the skeleton collection, which sounds like something they're rolling out at White House Black Market. So we have around a dozen skeletons in glass cases wired into position. Dude, there's a lot of stuff in here with babies. That's the only thing I find quite weird in here, like babies and kids. And like babies that aren't doing well, shall we say, in various forms of repose. I don't love that. But I guess even babies have skeletons. It's true. Alright, so this is a 1d10 to see what skeletons they are. 3. Human adults. Great. So we have some adult skeletons, and we might as well get some more details. We'll go d20 plus depth. I'm wondering if, yes. Well, it says roll d30 for iSearch Room. I thought maybe it was like the thing of roll d20 plus depth. All right, so details d20 plus depth. 7 plus 2 is gas lamps. Okay. What else? 5 plus 2 is 7. Fireplace. Ooh, that's not good. Things are flammable in here. 9 plus 2, 11. And a staircase. Okay. So, is the fireplace active? No, and it looks like it hasn't been active in quite some time. Okay. Any events here? 9. I feel like I've rolled like 800 9s. Yeah, the PC's become disoriented. Okay, -1 progress. There's no progress. But you know what we should do right now? We should set progress. And progress is an abstract number. How long? Oh, we've been going quite a time here. Progress is an abstract number that it basically says how many progress points, abstract, how much progress do they have to make to get what they're looking for. And there's a way to rate things for progress based on their difficulty. 20 is like easy, 25 would be specialist. This is mostly for searching for certain books. And so I would say that what they're looking for, their progress, and I bet you could have various progresses. But I will say that they are looking for Jorma or something that can tell them what's happening here. And I think both of those are 25. So we'll context dependent. Progress increases by 1 if the party talks to someone knowledgeable. The party gets an accurate idea of the layout. The party finds a book related to the topic. And it's -1 if they get off track. That's fine. So it's at 0. And we'll say we'll get something about Jorma at 25. So by now you should see the scale of this game. Okay. So we're disoriented again. And we're like, wait a minute. How is there a staircase up? Aren't we on the top floor? Where does... I don't know. So their progress still at 0. It's like, we got to find that guy. Why did he chase after those bees? Someone says, I don't know. Maybe he just likes bees. But they have to go. They have to go deeper. They have to go deeper. So now we're gonna do d20 plus 3. We didn't get much from the skeleton collection. 7 plus 3. Auditorium. So they decide to go up the stairs. In the auditorium. A large room, empty of bookshelves, semicircular in shape. In the middle of the flat side, there's a small stage with a desk, and behind it a large blackboard. Around this in half circles are rings of benches, each row a foot higher than the one in front. Okay, so it's like a lecture hall. Any details? D20 plus 3. 5. 8. A lamppost. Okay, so there's some lighting in the room. Events. 11. Sign of an encounter. The next encounter in this location will be with that creature. Oh, I see. So it's a sign of an encounter of a certain creature. And the next encounter will be with that creature. Okay, so what is the sign? Maybe we can make it a little bit more abstracted so that we can determine an appropriate encounter with a creature. We'll do adversaries first. Guardians. Okay. Let's roll a card here to get a little bit more. 6 of spades. Soldier Guardian. What's their goal? 8. To protect. Wow, this is very notable features. D6. 3. Obvious physical trait. Well, what is it? If it's so damn obvious. Three. Large. Okay, they have large what? Try the spark tables. And then we can go try flint if that doesn't work. The spark table doesn't look like it has many nouns. What do I have in flint? See, this is good. This is showing me some stuff I need here in flint. Okay. Well, see, this is interesting because I really could draw from any of these decks because this is the general one. Probably use that, but there are elements of this that are sort of fantasy, sci-fi, cyberpunk. Not really cyberpunk, but maybe future tech. I'll just use this. That was the weirdest, most worthless shuffle I've ever done in my life. All right, let's just pull it apart here and see what's on this. Trying to look anything here. Medicinal flowers, gene therapy. Large affliction. So this is like a Gorbachev wine stain. Carved symbol. Okay, that's enough. We'll be able to figure that out when the time comes. So there's some large affliction that this creature has, and it's a symbol carved into them by nature or by nurture. And it doesn't have to be the next encounter, but it could be the next creature encounter. Need to use the potty. Please excuse me. Yeah, so we'll say that Up on the blackboard of this auditorium is like maybe a chalk sketched image of it's hard to tell exactly what it is, but it's definitely some sort of beast. And it says something like beware, or, you know, nothing very helpful, but it has some sort of carved symbol on it. The symbol or the beast itself is very large. And then maybe if this person is trying to be helpful, perhaps they do leave like a little clue of something that could help help whoever it is not to get hurt. And so maybe like a weakness of this thing. So it says, or to avoid it, it says follow. To, again, vanishing. Five echoes. Okay. Follow vanishing echoes. So that could be a situation in which, like, maybe it feels like echoes are coming from somewhere, but it's misleading. The echoes aren't. I think it's just a situation where I have to, like, not follow my instinct, and I have to figure that out. I have to figure out what that's going to look like. Or I have to know, like, I have to recognize that when it comes up. I will surf. I will search a room and see if anything is in the room. I don't know. I guess all that costs is time, right? And so we'll do. I mean, not all that costs. Time is an extremely valuable resource. And so, sorry if I keep going away from it. Divided by 2, of course. So 10.5 to 11. A tiny funeral urn. A tiny funeral urn. Is there ashes or anything that appears to be ashes inside this tiny funeral urn? Yes. And it is ashes. Okay. Am I able to tell anything else about these ashes? Boy, I don't know how I'll even answer this if it says yes. No. And they're burnt to a crisp. There's no way to identify. They're like literally carbon. But it is an urn. It is undoubtedly an urn full of ashes of a deceased person. Well, that's not true. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that because we just know that it's ashes, and we know that it's a funeral urn. And I would say, reasonably speaking, without any sort of additional mystical type intervention, there's no reasonable way to deduce anything beyond that. So we'll roll a dungeon event here, just because using up so that it's not banging on 3. Environment. Surroundings shift or escalate. Water rises, ceiling collapses, a ritual nears completion. Okay. So let's say that the chalkboard, I don't know about you, but at my college they had those like chalkboards. I don't even know if they have chalkboards anymore, but chalkboards that like slide up and left and right so that you could use multiple boards. So maybe the chalkboard slides and reveals something new. I'm not going to shuffle for 25 minutes this time. I'm just going to pull a card. We hear a slow tap, 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 a spreading pool. Okay, so, and Warren says, "You guys, you hear that?" It's like, yeah. What is it? I don't know. It's just a tapping. I know it's a tapping, but what is the tapping? Says Saren. All of a sudden, just a little bit of pouring water. It's not even like rushing, it's just pooling. And then surging power emanates. We see that about 4 feet up, or on the 4th like tier of this thing, is like a little plug socket or something like that, a exposed wire that is sparking. And so everyone needs to get out of the room, and we'll do a dex check to see, make sure that everybody gets out on time. So, oof. 4, 14, 15. Alright, well, good luck everyone. We'll do Dibber last. God bless him. So Saren, 2, definitely gets out. Holy crap! Runs to the right of the room. Morden, 4. And I'll tell you what, we'll, since Morden and Saren are able to move so quickly, they'll give a help to Dibber. We'll roll with advantage. Come on, old man! And Dibber does not make it. But, no but. I'm just saying he did rest, so his HP is 6. So he had some sort of electrical injury here. That's got to be pretty severe. Oh, but the Everbloom band. That's right. Everbloom. Nothing is playing. What do you mean nothing's playing? How dare this thing? So, the Everbloom band was part of the field warden loadout, right? A circlet adorned with flowers that never wilt. On crit damage, the flowers dissolve into dust, but act as if your save succeeded. So I guess we'll do a crit damage check because it's going to bypass the HP. So we'll do a strength check. Nice. So there's a pass on that, so we don't have to use that. But we will say that it still is going to do some damage to strength. Dang. So 2 out of 8. That's pretty bad. And we'll say that's deprived. And I gotta be honest here. I think too that you try to help somebody who gets electrocuted, you're getting electrocuted too. So I'm gonna do D4 to both the fellas. Oh. So what was that? All right, so D4 to Saren. Dang. Well, 7 out of 11. What does that mean? Hey, wait a minute. That's not a D. That's a fake D4. That's a D5. Which one of you did this? How could you do this to me? How do I go on from here? How do I feel safe again? Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? I'm re-rolling. No, I'm not. But I am subtracting by 1. 8. And then... That's right. 13 out of 14. All right. So I think they're just going to run because to me, they're just trying to get the hell out of there. And there is instructions for what happens when they just go for it. Okay. The normal exploration procedure of going deeper assumes that PCs are moving carefully, drawing maps, taking notes, perhaps to see PCs flee. Okay. Their flight takes them D4 minus 1. I guess I gotta check all my D4s now. Oh. All right. 4 minus 1, so 3 layers deeper. So they go running. And they're going 1, 2, 3 layers deeper. And so this is a D20 plus 6. Okay, if they roll the maximum result 3, which that's what this would be, for how much deeper they go, step up the die size from D4 minus 1 to D6 minus 1 and roll again, adding the new result to the previous one. For each extra die rolled, something bad happens. Perhaps they trip, something falls on them, or they blunder into something pointy. They take 1 damage. I'm getting hosed. Alright, so 3 plus 2. So that's 5 deeper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they go all the way down to level 8, the idiots. They all take 1 damage. Which let me just say, we can ill afford. Ill afford at this point. So now back to 12. See, this is a little unclear for me. If anyone knows the Cairn rule set, as far as I remember, it says like environmental damage or something, you ignore the hit protection. But then when I'm dipping into my strength, do I have to make a strength save? Or is that only when I have 0 hit protection? Because I have full hit protection. Oh my gosh. Dipper is at 1. I think every time... Well, first of all, what in the hell happened? Like, what did they, what hurt them? Who hurt you, bro? thongs. Hairbrush or leather thong? Okay, this one is definitely not. This one's like X-rated. Your foot gets caught. Okay, so they trip and then all of them trip and like a bunch of, like the Three Stooges, they fall over each other and bang their kneecaps or whatever. And they went way deeper. Down to D8, which means we got to roll D20 plus 8 to see where we went here. I'm not accepting knuckleballs anymore. That I'm no longer accepting results that don't like have any rotation. 17. Damn. 17 plus 8 is 25. Pardon my French. And so that means that now takes us to the steam vents. Let off some steam, Benedict. Or was it cool down? Here, the steam pipes that thread through the library are exposed. A large valve is set into the wall that can be opened or closed by turning a huge wheel. Well, why would my characters do that? Like, is that a natural thing? You walk in, like, if I could tell you this, and the few times I like think about your grade school, those weird moments where like you have to, like, I don't know, your teacher says, here, you come down and help me carry these boxes of whatever here, and then you go into like some back room of the school that you've never been to before, and she's like, here, right here, grab those boxes, and you're looking around like, man, this is kind of scary. If I saw a wheel on the wall, like a steering wheel steam vent thing, would I do that? Even as a kid. I'm doing this as a kid because it's like, that's when I was my absolute dumbest. I'd be terrified to do that. I would think that it's like shut, like that it was welded shut. But perhaps there is like some steam pipes blocking my path, you know, it's classic like Super Mario. Let's get a detail. 1 plus 8, 9. Gas lamps. I can't stop with these 9s. All right, 13 plus 8 is 21, and that is stacked papers, gas lamps. All right, so the steam's coming out, and maybe I say, oh, let's leave it up to fate. Are they going to try to shut off the wheel in order to avoid the hot steam? Maybe, but let's roll fake wisdom, i.e. willpower. And let's see who's gonna make this decision. Should be 2 each, okay. AKA, who's the idiot? All right. I wonder what Jorma's doing. Probably is the steam. All right, so this is Dibber. 9. 3. All right, so Dibber, we'll say that Dibber knows the right thing to do. Well, no, we'll say Dibber did not. It says, maybe he's like, hey, maybe we should do this. Wait, stop. And then let's get some more info here. leave my thing in. I think my brain is melting. Let's find out about the steam vents. If the valve is open, the steam from the pipes vents into the room, dealing D6 damage. Okay, that's good. So it didn't do it. Even if the vents aren't fully open, smaller pressure valves constantly release little bursts of steam into the room, so I was right, allowing those present to reroll fail rolls to hide in the mist. Because of the damp air, the books here are all protected by a thin layer of wax, or else etched into paper-thin sheets of metal. Bringing in normal paper books ruins them rapidly. Does anybody have a normal... Oh, no. Oh, okay. Jorma has a letter. Morden has a whistle. I've got my whistle. All right. Okay. My brain is tired. I hope you got a good idea of the Stygian Library as well as Cairn. Definitely see some promise in both. I can't decide, and I need to think about it. Stygian Library, like, some of the rooms were quite... I don't want to say anemic. That's very mean and not exactly right. They lack description. For instance, I was thinking of the skeleton collection, and I know I can roll up details, but I'm just thinking out, like, if I were to sit down and play this game on my own over a period of time, I'd probably at least put 10 to 12 hours into it. I think I would start rolling, even now. I mean, how many times did I get gas lamps and stuff? And so I'm trying to figure out, though, like, do I like that? Do I like that it's a bit sparse because I get to fill in a lot? Or do I feel like I wanted a little bit more? I definitely like it. I actually like the white space. I know for some people that feels like a waste, and I get that, but to me, that makes it very easy to... I don't feel like overwhelmed the minute I open a page. I just feel like, okay, yeah, I can totally understand everything there is to know about this room. I think I like it. I think I like that it leaves space. But there was like certain cases where I just wanted like a little something more. Okay, so these skeletons were adult humans. What else? Can I get one other thing? But then again, that's what the details are for. And with a good oracle, it's going to be even better. I do think that I have some really good ideas of what I can add to Flint. I need to create just like a D100 description oracle, or at least D66, and just objects and just like thematic words, stuff that just popcorn ideas up like that. If you like this music, all of it has been from CryoCrypt, which is available on Bandcamp. Thank you to them again for the allowing us to use the music. Thank you to Tower House Creative, and make sure that if you get the chance, my sweet friends, that you use promo code MANALONE20, description website down below, and that also you send your pre-gen. While making this video, I got another pre-gen character. I don't even know how people knew. They just know. So get in on the fun, win yourself a fate mill, and that's it. The video's over, the music is off, and you gotta go. Goodbye. I've got to update this list. I'm going to update this list. I'm going to do it. Uh-oh. Wait a minute.